This man built a tower out of living human beings. Then he wrote it down, proudly, so the whole world would never forget. You've never heard his name. By the end of this video, you'll wish it had stayed that way. You know Hitler. You know Genghis Khan. You probably even know Vlad the Impaler. But the king you're about to meet was so brutal, he ordered his own crimes carved into stone. Not to confess, to brag. 3,000 years later, archaeologists dug those words back up, and what they read made their blood run cold. His name was Ashurnasirpal II, king of Assyria. And by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why people prefer not to say it out loud. It's the 9th century BC, the Middle East. A small kingdom sitting on what's now northern Iraq decides it wants to rule everything it can reach, and at its head stands a man who's about to turn cruelty into government policy. Most conquerors killed because they had to. This one killed because it worked better than any army. We're going to count down 5 things he did, from bad to please make it stop. Let's get into it. Number 5. The cities that vanished from the earth. When Ashurnasirpal's army appeared on your horizon, you had exactly 2 choices. Open the gates and pay him for the rest of your life, or don't. The cities that chose don't aren't in the history books. Not because they lost, because there was nobody left alive to write their names down. He didn't just conquer a city, he deleted it. Buildings burned to the ground, fields salted so nothing would grow there for a generation. Wells poisoned. Survivors dragged off in chains. He turned whole towns into a warning sign aimed at everyone still watching. And the neighbours? They got the message. Fast. That's the gentle one. It gets so much worse. Number 4. The towers. Here's the part you probably clicked for. After taking a city, Ashurnasirpal liked to leave a monument at the gates. Not a statue, not a flag. A tower made of people. Prisoners were stacked alive, sealed into wet clay, and built into a column right at the entrance of the city they used to call home. Anyone walking past, traders, travellers, the next kingdom's ambassadors, saw exactly what happens to people who say no. And the worst part? This isn't a rumour cooked up by his enemies. He wrote it himself. His royal scribes recorded it with the calm pride of an accountant filing a record year-end report. Picture the confidence of a man dictating that and thinking, yes, let them remember this one. They remembered. Keep going. Number 3, the skin. If you've made it this far, now's the time to decide how strong your stomach really is, because the king's signature move was flaying people alive. Defeated kings, rebel leaders, anyone who dared rise against him. Their skin was peeled off while they were still breathing. And then the detail that tells you everything, that skin was draped over the city walls or nailed to poles along the road into town. Why? Cold, simple marketing. Every ambassador, every merchant, every rival king who rode past got one message. No translation required. Do not anger this man. No internet, no newspapers. This was how you made the whole world talk about you. And it worked so well that entire cities surrendered before his army even arrived. They'd heard what was waiting if they didn't. Genius, monstrous, but genius. And we still haven't reached the coldest part. Number 2. He loved it. This is the real horror of Ashurnasirpal. It's not that he was cruel. History is full of cruel men. It's the tone. His inscriptions survived. You can stand in a museum and read them today. He describes burning young men and women alive, cutting off hands, noses, ears, blinding prisoners by the 100, and he describes it the way you describe a good day of fishing. I burned them, I destroyed them, I flayed their chiefs, I built a pillar of the living and the dead. Calm, satisfied, almost poetic. This isn't a warrior lost in the heat of battle. This is a quiet, methodical man who sat down, thought it through and decided that terror was simply efficient, a management tool. Like taxes, just with knives. Think of the boss who never raises his voice, who smiles, speaks softly, and somehow that's the thing that chills you. Now hand him an empire. And here's what should really bother you. It made him one of the most successful rulers of his entire age. And number 1, the scariest part of all, it worked perfectly. This is where you expect the moral, the part where the monster finally gets what's coming. Overthrown, cursed, forgotten. Not this time. Ashurnasirpal died in his own bed. Old, rich, untouched. At the absolute peak of his power, he built himself a brand new capital, a city called Kalhu, and to celebrate, he threw a party. By his own record, he fed almost 70,000 people for 10 straight days, the largest banquet the ancient world had ever seen. The man who built towers out of living bodies went down in history as a generous, gracious host. If that makes your skin crawl, good. It should. Then his son continued the work, and his son after that. An empire built on pure terror became the first true superpower in human history, ruling the Middle East for centuries. All of it grew from one cold idea in one man's head. If everyone fears you, no one will ever dare to strike. So why have you never heard his name? Because history is written by the winners, and Assyria in the end lost. It was wiped out so completely that for thousands of years it simply vanished. The cities sank under the sand. The names dissolved. The man who wanted to be feared forever almost disappeared from the earth entirely, until the 19th century, when archaeologists dug up his palace, and with it, his words, those words, carved into stone in his own voice, calmly explaining exactly what he did to human beings. And that's the chilling part. He won. 3,000 years later, here you are, listening to the story of a king whose single wish was to never be forgotten. Kind of terrifying that it actually worked, isn't it? If you want the story of his son, the one who somehow took it even further, hit subscribe so I know you can handle it.